Now on CoastTV News.
Lewis development debate. We look at what is being reviewed in Lewis ahead of a public hearing over construction of a townhouse development. And deadline on home dollars, what property owners in Sussex County need to know and what could be their final chance to appeal the latest assessment.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Our top story this morning, we are learning more information about a crash that happened at the Rehoboth Beach Walmart this morning. Delaware State Police have confirmed to CoastTV that a person walking through the Walmart parking lot was hit and killed. That crash happened around 8:02 a.m. and the story is developing. Details about the driver and the car involved or the identity of the person who died have not yet been released. And we are now taking a live look outside at Rehoboth Beach, and our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trahey, is going to join us. Bob, we have a red alert day for later tonight. That's going to be the concern.
That is the concern, Elisa. It looks like it's a little foggy, too, on the Gateway Super camera, but we are looking at that severe potential tonight. That's when the code red goes into effect. We had a lot of showers move through this morning, but it has since dried out. We're seeing more in the way of blue skies now, so warming up quickly with partly cloudy skies over Delmarva. Nice area of sunshine back through D.C., but then we're watching this cold front back to the west across the Ohio Valley. Right now, not too much along the front in the northern side of it, but farther south down into the Gulf Coast areas and into the Tennessee Valley. That's where we're seeing some heavier thunderstorms, and we'll be watching that front moving our way, giving us the potential for severe weather tonight. Right now it's warming up quickly, low to mid 70s inland areas, 50s and 60s at the beaches, except Rehoboth right now 73, gusty winds 20 to 30 miles per hour plus, gusting up to 35, and that's bringing in more moisture. And as we go into the afternoon, we will destabilize the atmosphere with temperatures in the 70s, close to 80 degrees in Milton and Ellendale as we go into the afternoon hours, and cooler at the beaches. I think we're still quiet through the dinner hour, but then after about 8 or 9 p.m. we'll have to watch for those storms moving in, and the main impact will be damaging winds. Much more on that coming up, but right now it's a level 2 risk of seeing severe weather across Delmarva, an even higher chance across the Piedmont where they could be seeing possibility of tornadoes. So just mainly dry and warm throughout the day with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Then that threat for some heavier showers and storms this evening with that code red, then cooling down the middle part of the week, and then it's back up the end of the week. I'll have this roller coaster like forecast coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. A highly debated development gets another hearing in front of Lewis officials. Overfall Preserve calls for 90 townhomes off of Savannah Road. The Lewis Planning Commission granted approval in January for the preliminary site plan, but with 25 conditions attached. Some people in Lewis have worries about those plans.
The lack of services that we have now, the medical, the dental, we've just been overrun by people.
From over the past several months, there's about 60 pages of public comments about the land, most of them opposing the idea, and the next public hearing is tonight at 5:30. An important deadline is here for homeowners in Sussex County. Property value reassessments are finishing up across the county, and today is the last day to appeal your newly reassessed values. It's important to note, according to the county, that entire process can be done online. And we have updated security rules for the Chincoteague Pony Swim. The town is announcing rules ahead of the 100th anniversary, and according to Chincoteague officials, coolers, umbrellas, and glass containers are no longer allowed at the event. Bags and backpacks are also banned unless they are clear, and the Chincoteague Pony Swim takes place on July 30th. And happening now, President Trump is expressing frustration over the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia, stating his strongest criticism yet for Russian President Vladimir Putin. NBC's Alice Barr shows us all this and how those new tariffs set to go into effect Wednesday could impact some of the world's major industries.
President Trump returning to Washington for a busy week with his massive reciprocal tariff plan set to roll out on Wednesday against all trading partners.
You'd start with all countries.
Grabbing headlines first by not ruling out potentially seeking a constitutionally prohibited third term in office, telling NBC's Kristen Welker in an exclusive phone interview, quote, "I'm not joking," and that he thinks there would be methods to pursue it, later saying he's not looking at that.
We have a long way to go before we even think about it.
That as his billionaire advisor Elon Musk is raising legal questions for handing out million-dollar checks to 2 voters at a Wisconsin town hall, where he campaigned for a conservative judge up for election tomorrow in the state's high-stakes Supreme Court race that could lead to redrawing Wisconsin's congressional maps.
Whichever party controls the House, it to a significant degree controls the country, which then steers the course of Western civilization.
Protesters lined up as Democrats accuse Musk, who's poured millions into the race, of trying to buy the seat, though the state Supreme Court chose not to intervene. From frustration in the streets to President Trump voicing anger with Russian President Vladimir Putin, telling NBC News in that phone interview that he was, quote, very angry and pissed off at Putin for criticizing the credibility of Ukrainian President Zelensky's leadership.
You're supposed to be making a deal with him, whether you like him or you don't like him.
President Trump now threatening extra tariffs on Russian oil. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
This afternoon, the Phillies will play their first home game of the 2025 season. The defending National League East champs bring a 2-1 record after playing in Washington over the weekend. First pitch is set to be at 3:05 against the Rockies. And about 30 minutes earlier, and about 2 hours south on Interstate 95, the Orioles will play their first game of the season at Camden Yards against the Red Sox. And coming up after the break, Sandhill safety upgrades will tell you about concerns from locals that could have led to the installation of a new gate at the facility. Developing news in Georgetown, where a new gate was installed last week at Sandhill Field's parking lot near Murray's Lane. According to a Facebook post by Georgetown Mayor Bill West, the gates will close each night at 8 p.m. and the size of the lot can only hold about a dozen cars. CoastTV reached out to Sandhill to see what was going on and why this was needed. While we did not hear back from them, we did speak with people in the area who use that trail, and we heard concern over people entering that lot for what was described as inappropriate behavior.
I think it's good for safety reasons. You just never know, especially if you bring kids out here, if anyone's going to be lurking around, especially late at night. So it's definitely good to have some kind of safety precautions established here just for everyone.
And according to Mayor West, the gates aim to address those exact safety concerns. Delaware's wild turkey season opens next weekend, but Denrick says some new changes are coming this season, mainly for hunting on Sundays. Denrick says this is the first time Sunday turkey hunting has been allowed in the state since 1991. But it's only permitted on private lands with landowner permission and on designated state wildlife areas. It's still not allowed on state forests and at national wildlife refuges. The season runs from April 5th to May 10th in Delaware.
Here's a live look at the FH Fur Camera in Cambridge. Lots of blue skies, a few clouds. We're in the low 70s and warming into the mid 70s today, and it will be breezy. We do have a threat for severe weather this evening. A code red is in effect then. Looks like damaging winds will be the main threat. Details on that coming up. Congratulations to Gary Beauchamp from Laurel. He has a new umbrella from Paul Davis and CoastTV. More on the stormy weather and the up and down temperatures in my full forecast coming up next. Not a bad way to wrap up the month of March. My goodness, we had a gorgeous weekend. Temperatures well into the 70s and lower 80s. And this Monday's not too shabby either. Tuttle and Razor Cam, just a few high clouds. 75 in Lewis right now. It is breezy, and we're going to be beautiful this afternoon with temperatures into the low 70s. Before we talk about the severe weather, I want to talk about baseball. We've got the Red Sox coming to Camden Yards for the Orioles home opener. And I think we're in good shape until about 4 o'clock. Make sure you have your sunscreen and you're hydrated. Around 80 at 4. We could start to see storms showing up between about 4 and 5 p.m. and some of those could be severe through the evening hours. So the end of the game certainly could be a little stormy. In Philly at Citizens Bank Park, they have the Rockies in town. They're looking at mostly cloudy skies, temperatures into the 70s, and I think some showers and storms after about 7 p.m. So I think the game should be dry in Philly. Here's our storyline. We do have that code red for later this evening. It will be a warm and breezy day, and then we have that threat for severe weather as we go into the nighttime hours between about 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. I think the main threat is damaging winds. And then as we go into your Tuesday, sunshine, it turns much cooler, pleasant and dry, highs in the 50s. Then it turns pretty cold into Wednesday morning. We could be looking at a little bit of frost at that time. But first things first, it is mild, 73 in Salisbury, 74 in Georgetown, Milton 75. Cooler at the coast, 66 in Rehoboth, Indian River Inlet 63, only 53 in Ocean City right now. Could be a little bit of coastal fog down there right now. But these winds are gusty out of the southwest, gusting to 35 miles per hour in Salisbury. Make sure you secure or stow away those outdoor items for that potential of severe weather tonight. 15 miles per hour gusting in Rehoboth and 33 in Georgetown. As we're looking at things clearing out, we had a little band of showers move through earlier, but now we're seeing more in the way of sunshine, and that will tend to destabilize the atmosphere as we go through the afternoon hours, as we have a nice hole in the overcast back through D.C. Here's the cold front we're watching to move in this evening. Right now, not too active, but I am expecting a line of showers and storms to erupt along that front as we go into the afternoon. And right now, it looks like it's severe weather from Tennessee down into the Gulf Coast. That is where the lion's share of the severe weather will be, but we too could get in on some of that severe weather as we go through this evening. That's why we have a level 2 or a slight risk of seeing severe weather, maybe an isolated spin-up tornado, a small chance of large hail, but a better chance of seeing strong winds to 60 miles per hour, and maybe some isolated flooding if that rain comes down hard enough. So we're looking at temperatures warming quickly this afternoon, close to 80 degrees, but I think we keep it dry through the dinner hour, and then after that, after about 8 or 9 p.m., here come the showers and storms, heavy rain. Once again, can't rule out damaging winds or an isolated tornado. Around 2 a.m., we're still looking at the heavier rain, and then it's pretty much gone around 3 a.m., and then it's just getting breezy out of the northwest. Clears out on Tuesday. It is going to be cool into the afternoon with highs only into the upper 50s, and then much cooler into Wednesday morning with 30s and low 40s. Could see about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain with this system, maybe an inch in other places, as we're looking at gusty winds out of the south up to about 30 miles per hour, locally higher in storms this evening, and then stronger, cooler northwesterly winds for tomorrow. 78 this afternoon, partly cloudy, breezy and mild. Keep an eye to the sky tonight for showers and thunderstorms, some of those strong to severe. Then 58 with sunshine on Tuesday, breezy and cooler. Paul, they have a 7-day forecast, upper 50s Tuesday and Wednesday, a touch of frost Wednesday morning, 77 Thursday, showers Friday, 76, and some of those showers linger into the weekend, mid-60s Saturday and lower 70s Sunday, still a chance of a few showers.
Coming up tonight on DSN at 6:30, it's Stellar Fight 66. Then catch a full recap of all that action on the final score at 10:30. And over on the DSN Plus app at 4 p.m., Bennett Boys Lacrosse are home with Kent Island. Also at that time, Moy Boys Lacrosse when Indian River hosts St. Mark's. Also at 4, Sussex Tech takes on Del Castle. And in girls lacrosse, Milford is home against Ursuline. And here's a look at what's coming up this afternoon at 4 on Coast Life.
Hope you had a great weekend, Coast Life. Hope you got outside, enjoyed that weather. But coming up today at 4, we also hope that you thank a doctor today, because yesterday was National Doctors Day.
And there's going to be a lot of laughing and groaning, guffawing as we get into our joke jar of the day. Some good jokes, some bad jokes. You won't want to miss it.
Nothing gets you through your Monday like those eye rolls from our joke jar. All that fun and so much more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg says Facebook is going OG Facebook with a revamped Friends tab. Under the tab, your feed will only show posts from friends and family with no recommended content. The new Friends tab replaces the one that showed new friend requests plus people you may know, and the new tab will be available in the U.S. and Canada. Zuckerberg says more OG Facebook features will be coming soon. CoastTV will be right back. Happening today in Ocean City, the town will look at proposed changes to public transportation, and this is tied into budget talks. According to the Transportation Committee, fewer people have been taking the bus in town for reasons being cited like the lack of bus drivers and longer wait times, which is why the Ocean City Council plans to give an extra $1.5 million to the Transportation Committee. We went into the town to learn what people who live there think about this extra use of money.
Lots and lots of people use it in the summertime, and we definitely need to keep that going and, you know, be able to hire more drivers. You do have to keep up with the times and keep the pay, competitive.
And that extra money for the Transportation Committee is expected to be reviewed at this afternoon's council meeting. And also on Delmarva, Bridgeville is another community set to review its budget. According to the town, officials will host a workshop to discuss fiscal year 2026. And also at that workshop, the town will review its draft comprehensive plan for its 2025 goals. That event will take place tonight at 5 p.m. at the Bridgeville Public Library.
It's a mild and breezy end to the month of March, so sunshine in Cambridge and really the rest of Delmarva, 72, and it's mild, dry, and breezy as we await the storms this evening. There is a code red for the potential of damaging winds. Then we cool it down Tuesday and Wednesday with a late week warm up with some showers a little later into the week. Remember, another way to get your forecast is the Coast TV First Alert Weather Phone, sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. Your 10-day forecast is next. Mild and breezy for this final day of March. Make sure you secure those outdoor items. It gets breezy this afternoon, dry, and then stormy this evening. We have a code red between about 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's when we're expecting some heavier storms, maybe some damaging winds, an isolated tornado, and some heavy rain. Then we clear it out Tuesday, sunshine 58, maybe a little frosty Wednesday morning, 57 Wednesday, 70s Thursday and Friday, showers Friday could linger into the weekend. Cooler on Saturday, 64, 73 on Sunday, and then a little cooler as we head into early next week.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. And for more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Don't forget to join us for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. Have a great day.